All right, we're here with Jerry Lynn here on PWInsider.com. Jerry, you're in the midst of the retirement tour. March 23rd, Minneapolis will be your final match. Reflections on the last 3 months that are, or I guess the next 3 months that are coming up as you prepare to say goodbye to being an in-ring performer.
Oh man, no one's making this retirement tour easy on me. So reflections are, I'm hoping I get through it in one piece because my bump card was full a long time ago. It's being punched where it shouldn't be punched anymore. So I'm just trying to get through it in one piece.
We just finished watching you work an 8-man match in Pro Wrestling Syndicate. You got a huge standing ovation at the end. How do you feel about getting that sort of respect at the tail end of your career and seeing that reaction from the fans? A lot of times when guys leave a territory or guys are closing out, there'll be you smart-ass fans who kind of are disrespectful. There's no sign of that whatsoever for any matches that you're working. How do you feel about kind of being the guy that's just dead on, everybody just respects what you've done and loves you for it?
I'm flattered. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm flattered. I'm honored that and I'm glad that they liked my work, because no matter where I was on the card, if I was in just a time filler match, I always tried to give the fans just that one thing to remember.
Let's talk about the retirement match, March 23rd. You're going to be facing a bunch of faces from the early days of your career in Minneapolis. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's funny. I never thought I was going to have my last match in Minneapolis. And then some friends back home talked me into it. And I thought, well, it made sense. That's where it all started. Might as well end it there. And the other coincidental thing was I initially wanted to retire at the end of this year, December. But then a couple people, I've had a lot of regulars over the years that would bring me back repeatedly. And there's been a couple that wanted to bring me in for their big shows in January. So I thought, okay, I'll put it off a month. And then I get someone else from Canada calling. Will you do one last time in Canada in February? Okay, I'll do that. Then finally they talked me into Minneapolis. I tried to tell the promoter who wanted to run the show for my retirement show to do it in February because I didn't want to push it off anymore and have people going, he's really not going to retire. Until he told me his wife was due in January. And I thought, all right, if you need that extra month, which I understand, you can do it in March. So,
what an excuse. Another promoter excuse.
Yeah, really. But and it all ended up being kind of poetic because March is the month that I started in back in '88, so it'll be the 25th anniversary that I'm retiring on. So it all came together pretty cool.
Right. Now, I know you just recently had a chance to team with Ricky Morton, which was on your checklist. You're going to be working with Lance Storm February 9th, Pro Wrestling Syndicate. You're going to be working with Horace the Psychopath and a bunch of other names to your past in the March on the 23rd show in Minneapolis. Is there anybody left that you haven't had the chance to work with that you really want to get the chance to work with?
Oh, there's probably a lot. I can't really mention them off the top of my head, but there's so much great talent out there nowadays, and the guys I wrestled tonight were just off the charts. I felt like I didn't belong in there with them, but there's probably a list, and right now off the top of my head I can't think of any, but I'm December 29th at Extreme Rising in Philly. I've got Homicide one more time, right? And that'll be my last Extreme Rising show, so that's a good way to cap off that, and trying to think what else I've got coming up.
You're probably going to work Anarchy at least a couple more times, right? Anarchy down in Texas?
My last show for them will be the one in, I believe it's their big show in January, and I've got Scott Showtime Summers one last time.
Right.
And I'm trying to think what else I got. It's hard to remember. I've been hitting the head quite a bit.
Well, we're going to do something special on PWInsider.com the last couple of months as you're leading to your retirement. We're going to start bringing you on once a week to talk about your matches that you've had, why you've had them, and some of the stories from your past. So we're really excited about that. When you look back on a 25-year career, what to you really stands out the most? Is it the travel? Is it the people? Is it the actual experience of working? Is it specific matches, specific people? Like, I know it's a lot to kind of discuss in one sentence or two sentences, but is there anything that really stands out as like the definitive Jerry Lynn moment for you?
No, because I'm a Gemini. Everyone says, there's two of you. I think there's about six of me. But no, you summed it up. It's a little bit of everything. It's the like I've said, every show is like a family reunion. I see the guys I've known for the last couple decades. I see the younger guys coming up I've known for the last 10 years that are like watching my kids on the road growing up. You see the same fans, hardcore fans in the same cities that show up every time. I ran into a couple from Boston. I was over on a 3-week tour in Japan, and I ran into them in some major city over in Japan just on the sidewalk. They were over there on vacation. It's just a small world. You run it, and just, it's hard to describe being in showbiz, jazz hands. It's hard, it's been fun. I guess the main thing that really sticks out is when people ask, what's the meaning of life? And I think a big part of it is waking up every day and looking forward to going to work. Because I had enough jobs, God knows, where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to work today. So that's the one thing that really sticks out when I think about the last, the first 7 years were a grind, but after that, I didn't have to have the regular job to support my wrestling habit for 15 years, and that was a good feeling.
All right, well, Jerry, we thank you for your time, and we'll be talking to you very soon on PWInsider.com.
Well, thank you. See you later.